Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the Weekly WAYPN. I'm Cal.
And I'm Sunny.
AKA
Henry and Sangita.
So, first up, we've got Alan. And Alan is actually what we're ending with, which is really nice because, we're going to be able to...
Come full circle.
Yes. But I also like that he's actually showing some of his steps, and I also like that he's got that little thing there because I think it is really nice when you get to start off a new project, when you feel like you're unburdened.
Yes.
So we'll make a full commentary on it, but just that one step really does make quite a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, just the green parrot. It just feels really nice.
Well, I mean...
Oh, you meant this. Yes, I thought, at first I saw that and I was like, oh, metal is done. Maybe it is, who knows?
Alright, so next up, we've got Paul Miller.
Yes, quick update on my necromantic team. I've started blocking in colors, going with an updated Minnesota Vikings kit. Now, I said in the comments that this was looking very clean.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like brushstroke smooth. What do you think? Do you think it's brushstroke smooth?
Well, we do have an update here, so I don't... Oh, you know what? I'm gonna stop that, and I'm gonna open this up in a new tab because you know how it tends to throw things out.
Yeah, like once we click on something and then it goes all the way back to the bottom of the posts or something.
Or like, throws everything off. So I think he's quite close to the end here. And so I really like the color choices, right? But I feel like wants either to be more poppy or more grungy.
But yeah, as in like that's either way that he could go.
Yeah, but you choose one and just go with it sort of thing.
I think he's going for a very cartoony look to match the...
Yeah, and see if that's the case, make it pop more.
Yeah, and I think he will. It's just right now he's only blocked in the base colours.
Oh no, because he's done more than blocking in the base colours, because you can see here he's blocked in the base colours, but here he's given some highlights, but not the final highlights.
Right, okay.
So I think that that's good. But there is something for another one of our members. Is it Cal? Is it Cal who's now I'm either mixing up Cal or Patrick. I can't remember.
Yeah, because they both have very similar words.
Yeah, the with the bases, who never puts ground under the bases.
Was it Lance? No,
Lance? Yeah, it is Lance. It is.
Is it Lance? Because I thought his basing has improved.
So. It has. But if you want Lance to not do ground cover beforehand, this is a good alternative. So you see how he did the green there before he put in...
Yeah, so that just basically fills in any gaps.
Yeah,
and it looks like solid patch of grass.
Yeah. And see, that's the kind of thing that we're talking about, because when you see through to the black, it just really breaks that illusion.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Oh, yes. So that was the actual...
Yeah, I was like, that's it? Yeah. That's what it felt like.
All right. So next up, we've got you.
Yes.
And we got some comments, but you're like, nobody say nothing about me.
Yeah, like I was looking for real feedback on this one because, like I said in the post, I was really trying to push my character level and trying really hard.
We didn't have that much time to actually paint, though, did we?
No, we didn't. I know it's not a lot, but I still thought maybe it might be enough to get some level of commentary.
Yeah.
So this is what I was trying to do. I was doing the coat in the nice sort of burgundy color, and then after that, for the inner lapel of the blazer, usually they use like a satin version of the same colored material. Mm-hmm. So I was like, why not maybe a pinkish color instead of like a completely different color, just a different shade. And then it sort of became like a fade into light white kind of thing.
Yeah. However, I think most of the issues with this model is because of the cracks here with the model. But, that's neither here nor there.
Well, why don't you give me some critique, honey? Like, what do
I think that this looks really good, but I think that it's hard to critique at this stage because I think until you've done these areas around here, I think that this, we've done... where is it? We've done that. I feel like you need to blend that out a bit more.
Okay.
Like, it's quite sharp.
Right, okay.
Like, the difference between. And when you're not looking straight on, when you're looking this way, it looks fantastic. But when you look at it sort of straight on, it's just
it's a bit too harsh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or, increase its lightness in that area itself.
Oh, so like one more layer of highlight or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to do that because I am going for a little bit of that sort of satin velvety look. So the highlight won't be very bright. But I think I might try to blend that out a bit more like you say.
Sure. But yeah. So next up, and I also managed to comment... first on on one of his videos here. I noticed that one didn't get a love brush stroke.
Oh. He favoritized with me, okay?
Okay, I might have said something.
I have favoritism.
But yeah, this I found really useful and interesting. So one of the things that he does is use a Sharpie bone rather than just like a straight white or grey when he's going through the undercoat for it.
And I think I can understand that concept because in 2D art or digital illustration or even, just 2D art, something that they teach you is like working with toned paper. So instead of working with just straight white, you will use a tinted colored paper and that will just be like a mid-tone for your entire artwork. So let's say you do a portrait, you're just sort of drawing the shape of the portrait and you're doing the shadows and then you use a white pencil for the highlights, but the paper's color is the mid-tone of the entire artwork. Does that make sense? So you're not adding any middle color.
I understand. But I think we might be veering off too much.
Okay.
I understand you're trying to relate it back to this, but one of the things that I found interesting is that you wouldn't have expected it, but all of this is primarily achieved by undershading, which is not or pre-shading, which is not something that you would expect from somebody like Brushstroke, and I think, watch the video, it's well worth it. Alright, so next up we've got Davith.
And he's got himself a dragon.
Yes, he's sharing a post, but I think, once again, I should have said something because I'm not sure, is this a private group? No, it's just a town. Okay, it is weird why this is... But anyway...
Going call, this is a good bit of progress for 2 hours build time. Built the main body of Krondi's, his head and the spare head for his berserker brother Karazai, as I've a second kit to build. Genuinely impressed though with how quickly this all went together, as I've not built any of the big plastic beasties that GW have released for Warhammer and AOS. Certainly none of the last decade. Oh, okay, I thought it was like a D&D.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, D&D and Warhammer are very much going into the humanized faces with the dragons instead of those sort of things. So I can see why you think that. But yeah, it's good to see just like this is some good progress, and I would give him a hard time because he's only assembling models, but he does do some painting a bit further on.
Okay.
But it's also good to hear that somebody who is dealing primarily with older stuff, how they get on with the newer stuff, because it's good to give other people a perspective of that. This was not much of a success, this one, compared to the other one.
Well,
only 100 and something views, which I didn't understand why that one went sideways. So next up, we've got Alan O'Brien, and he's messing with a possible background. So the only thing that I would say with that is like the painting's very nice and that sort of thing, right? But I think it might draw away
from the attention of the model, yeah.
Yeah, well, like I think because his painting is very sort of pitch perfect, right? So if there's any sort of flaws with the background art, right, it's going to shift away from the perfectness of this.
Maybe.
It could enhance it. I can see how he's done the greens in here and this sort of thing. But this might be a time for you to take over because you are the one who does the 2D art.
Well, I'm not too sure what kind of critique I can give for the background because I'm not sure exactly how far he wants to go with this background.
As far as I know, this is going to be a sort of the back to it, and then he's going to have trees and stuff in front of it to sort of give it a more depth to the piece.
So like miniature model trees in front of it, or what? Like
Yeah,
a diorama situation.
Yeah.
So that's just like a backdrop then.
Yeah.
Okay, so backdrop is not too big of a worry, I would say. I think it's a very nicely done piece. It's simple, but I would say the color of the sky does not match the lighting that you have given. I can see that he's gone for that sunset because it has a very sunset lighting. Which we discussed in the previous one.
I thought more afternoon. Yeah, no. You
yeah,
said
like the
sunset.
the sun was setting on her, like sort of thing,
Yeah.
and it looked really great, right? With all the reds and the purples, especially in the shadow. That is what informs me that it's sunset time. So the clouds are done correctly in the color choice, but the sky would not be blue. It would be more of an orange, purpley sort of tones, So that's why I thought it felt something did feel a bit off with when I looked at it as a whole, and I was like, the sky color should have been a warmer color to match the model's environment.
So what should he do to improve?
If I sort of go, maybe we can find a picture of a sunset reference to put in, but you can definitely just paint over the blue parts with orange to yellow gradient. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough.
Or even a purple to yellow sort of gradient.
Okay.
We can find some pictures of sunsets, yeah.
But yeah, so I liked that you see where the light's coming from. So like that was good. But it's just, I feel like this is very perfect, and like there's nothing wrong with it, right? But when you compare it to that, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I think once he adds more stuff in front, like and completes the diorama, you'll find that the backdrop won't really feel as overpowering as it does now, unless he is going to go for that piece of painting as the main backdrop.
Yeah, all right. Well,
we don't know too much about, yeah.
I'm not really the one who understands 2D art at all. But yeah. All right. So, okay, yeah, and I just wanted to give a call out to guys. Here's the thing. We wanted to reach 150 members by now. We're 40 behind. But we're not as worried about that as keeping the culture of this place.
Yes.
And when we say keeping the culture of this place, we mean that people give enthusiastic feedback, that there's a positive vibe, that you've got people up and down the skill level, right? And that nobody is shaming someone for their skill level. You know, nobody is like, and that we're giving feedback appropriate to their goals. So if you know someone who you think could benefit from this community, please invite them.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We think that this place is a place which we want to be the sort of default hobby niche where there's no politics, no nonsense. It's just everybody of every skill level contributing, and even if somebody's just going for tabletop, they're like, this is how I achieved tabletop quickly. This is how I did this.
Yeah,
you know?
everyone sharing their tips for their level of painting or their goal. And, everyone can benefit from a place like this. It's not, only for high-level painters. It's only for mid-level painters. Everyone can be here.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got Davith again. Would you like to read out?
So finished up Crundies this morning, started 40k human for scale, then after theory crafting how many dragons I could fit into one list, spent the afternoon and evening building the rest of this squad of Imperial Navy breachers built. Crundies was a fun build, although I am going to have to go back over and fill the more egregious.
Egregious? Where are we?
Egregious, fill the more egregious gaps.
Yeah. Okay, yep.
He's the first plastic monster on this scale I've ever built for Age of Sigma, and the engineering of the design has impressed me. Now, I'm off all this week, and other than an appointment on Wednesday with Dr. Henry Dr. Henry. Yes. My plan is to put some dents in the painting backlog. I'm expecting my copy of Leviathan to arrive tomorrow, but even if it does not, I've got a load of stuff I want to get primed up, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I've built these guys up and done these guys up. They're very nice kit. I really like them. All right, so
Dr. Henry, what's the diagnosis? Okay. And next up we have Cal Vanoni, a swamp fish caught by troll wife. I found that quite funny, troll wife.
Yeah, so I really like the base here. I think that it's really good. I think that the brown is a nice complement, but I think you need to add some steel to little glasses.
Oh, she's wearing glasses. I didn't even know that she was wearing glasses.
And see, I think it's just little things like that. So,
and the teeth may be a different color?
No, I mean, there's those little bits of teeth there. But it's just little bits like that, I think, that hold Cal back a bit. Just because I think... he wants to get stuff on the tabletop, but tabletop, you are meant to look at the model and immediately recognize every element. And see, I think on this side, it's much more noticeable the difference between the green of the troll and the fish, but on this side it's a bit harder.
Yeah, I think it would have benefited if you used a different color for the fish altogether.
Or maybe just put some more shade over the troll side, so that there's that distinction, and just little bits like that. And I think this base does want a tuft or something.
Yeah,
just one extra element, not a lot, just a tiny bit.
Okay.
All right. Next up, we've got Chris. Chris, he's
back
been
at
away
it
for a while
with the black and the reds.
Yep.
Once again, my continuing attempts at getting wet blending and numb to go together. About halfway finished with this one. I glued it and primed it before sanding it because I was in a rush and regret it immensely.
I think this is one of his 3D prints, so let's take a look and see.
I think it's for Warhammer.
Yeah, no, it's for Warhammer 40k, but it's...
Yeah, because it's a bit iffy, isn't it, 3D printing in Warhammer?
Well, I don't think so, but I think he he likes to have everything sort of perfect model-wise. I don't really see any layer lines. I do see with the blending, you're still having a lot of trouble there. But, like, the secret to blending is just to keep the paint wet longer.
Thin layers or glazing the layers over.
Yeah, glazing, but glazing is like the hard, painful technique.
Yeah.
Whereas, just having wet on wet paint and just sort of mushing them together. I guess that's why I was going like that with the mouse.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think it's good just to see Chris come back and, be painting again.
I think it looks really good so far.
Yeah, thus far.
Maybe
it's working in progress.
A little bit of OSL might be nice with the green lights, yes.
Oh, yeah, that could be nice.
Just a tiny bit.
But let us continue on. So next up, we've got a new member, Steve...
Steve McCollum has been around he's been for the last 2 podcasts.
Has he?
Yeah.
Has he?
Yes.
Am I going senile?
Anyway, the black wash does look a little harsh on the wings.
I don't mind it, because it's got just like a really sharp contrast, and I think that looks nice. I think that the hair, more than the wings, needs any touching up. I like the fabric and how it's come out. I think you could do a little dry brush on there to get the
harp strings a bit more visible. But yeah, I think it's got a very Renaissance look.
Yeah. It and I think that this isn't so much a normal regular miniature, but one for... Oh, it's one of the Angel Reaper miniatures. Because when I looked at that is not what I thought.
I thought it was one of those...
shop kachkis.
Oh, okay. If that's what it's called.
Where they've... when
you go...
Knickknacks.
Yeah, knickknacks and stuff, yeah. Like decorations that you can buy.
Yeah, no, it seems to have very much that sort of cherubim style, very harsh colours. And, like, I think I like the white of the wings stark against the black. I like this sort of messy blending of colours with the...
Yeah, it looks like a painting.
Yeah.
But in a sculpture form.
Yes, exactly.
But it works for it. It works for it.
But I just feel like with that, the hair is the only part which needs work, because with those, have you noticed that they always put a lot of effort into the hair in those style of...
Maybe. I think so.
But yeah, that's the only thing that I think. So I think, yeah, pretty good. I'd be happy with it. But just the hair is the only thing that needs improvement. Wings are a great feature. And it's a very interesting model. So next up...
It's Genuine Vision, and something went weird with the first share attempt. Let's see if it goes right this time.
Alright, yeah, and like, so the only issue I have with Steve's stuff here is like he's so like when I thought I was talking about the directional lighting, I actually thought, oh, here's something that I can actually go, all right, here's something where, it's something that I've noticed which hasn't really, which maybe hasn't done. But the thing was, he's trying to do it like how I sort of do it for the Blood Bowl minis. You want to have them sort of just really pop. And I take a look at this, right, and I just think to myself, I'm not really sure how or if I could critique this at all. Because, like, I take a look at it and, like, execution-wise, it's perfect. Like, I really like this base. This base is very, very nice. Because it's got 3 elements here. It's got the path, it's got the bits of grass, and it's got the flowers there, right? His face is absolutely fantastic. I think we've got, like that with the...
Yeah, I like this angle a lot.
Yeah, with the, what do you call that? The drunkard's nose, I guess.
Oh, yeah, when you get red in the face.
Yeah. And, like, you take a look at the non-metallic metal that he's done there and on the sword and all of that, and it's all really nice. But because, of how he says, like, he tries to do it as if it's an all-over lighting, like, that was basically the only thing that I sort of felt that I could give to him. And now I'm sort of at a loss as to what to say.
Well, I'm not sure, but I do feel like maybe there's quite a fair bit of yellow around the head area. What do we think? I get the color scheme is red, yellow, black, and white, but I think it's because it's kind of clashing with the...
So you mean sort
with
of
the
how
hair, maybe...
So you mean like he's got this blondish, orangish red hair, and you think that it sort of blends too much?
Yeah, like it's not really standing out as much.
I don't know. I feel like it's hard to, like, when it's just color choice, I feel like I'm really grasping at straws.
Yeah, we are often grasping at straws with the higher level painters, aren't we?
It's true. Like, I mean, just like with Alan before, I'm just like,
what do we say?
Yeah.
It looks really nice. Technically technical skills wise, it's
Yeah,
and
and see, like that's the point, right? Like, we want to give feedback appropriate to each person, and after he's just like, no, I wanted sort of all over lighting. I'm just like, well, then I'm stumped.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was sort of it for me. But yeah.
Well, okay. Maybe for how our higher level painters, why don't you guys give us some sort of direction here, like maybe just express, I feel like maybe I did this part a bit poorly, or give it a bit more, toss us a line a little. And then you can be like, I'm looking to find more critique on this part, what do you guys think on this part, and then we can share our opinions on that. But yes,
so
and Steven's back again with this Dark Star. Found a mini from the movie Dark Star, John Carpenter's first movie that was straight from his movie or film Classics, okay.
So, the only thing that I have to say with this is, like, I really like the gem effect up here, and I think the way that he's done the camera down here is very nice. The only thing I have to say is there's not a lot of variation in the white.
Yeah, the white does look quite patchy, like in the undercoat can be seen right through in the areas.
I mean, like, I don't mind a certain level of patchiness because, like, that can give character to something.
Yeah.
Right? And I wouldn't exactly call it patchiness, right? I'd call it texture. But, like, the difference between the sort of the ridges and the grooves and the highlight is just so small. And that's one of the things that I felt like with Brushstrokes model as well, the backpack where he does the thing. It's so bright.
But yeah,
like,
I think
that's the only critique that I could give it, because I think, like, he's done well with the gem effect. It's quite bright for a white. Quite nice. He's done very nice with the black lining. I think that's all very good. I liked the camera, but that's the only thing that I would say.
Yeah, I think you could use a bit more shading or variation. Yeah, especially on the grey vents and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, maybe. Well, like, I haven't seen it, and this is why I wasn't giving him a hard time, because he's actually managed to get some paint on some.
I like this idea of a paint stick, a priming stick.
All right.
Yeah, so figured I might as well make use of the warm weather to get a whole bunch of stuff primed up this afternoon. Retaped my trusty spray stick, i.e. a 1 meter length of wood, 30mm by 30mm square, wrapped in double-sided tape, and kinda went nuts. My order of the new Leviathan box for 40k arrived alongside the can of Army Painter Army Green Spray Primer. Also was able to do pretty much my entire Astra Militarum. I feel unclean just calling my beloved guard that. Force that I've built since the relaunch of the Cadian range. I've still a bit more to do as I have some metal units in one of my cases to go with them. Rattling snipers, advisors, and the like. But might try and do them later this week. Anyway, this gives the Force a really solid color to build off. And like all of the Army Painted primers, it's matched to the associated war paint, so it's easy to clean up where the spray has missed. Thankfully, not too many places, as that's part of the point of the spray stick method. And touching up if I get ham-handed putting in details. And in that vein, the larger based units like Sentinels, Ordnance, and heavy weapon teams I just sprayed up on a shipping box. You really don't get the connection to the tape on the spray stick to make it worthwhile. After that, well, I did up a bunch of Death Watch Space Marines with classic Chaos Black. Used Wolf Grey on the Shiho clan for Bushido. Hey, Bushido!
There we go.
And Grey Seer for the Ito clan for the same game. A few odd minis I somehow forgot to picture, and then primed a whole mess of mechs for Battletech. That's a lot of stuff. Right, between all that priming and a ton of typing, I'm officially spent for the day. Leviathan can wait until tomorrow.
Alright, let's take a look, shall we?
Yes.
Alright, so this is his
spray stick.
Something that you found great amusement in.
Yes, so you could just double-sided tape and just stick them on and spray them.
You know, I like the idea of it, all except for one thing. Double-sided tape is so expensive for us, isn't it?
Yeah, I have no idea what kind of double-sided tape he's using as well, because I don't feel like every time we've gone to the shops, we can't find something that thick, you know?
But also, we
always running out of those in the shops.
Yeah, we always have trouble finding nice double-sided tape. So that is a lot of minis.
And they're very clean looking as well. Like, definitely a great spray job. Yeah. Very smooth prime job for sure.
Apparently, he's had these lying around since the 9th edition of 40k. So, yes, I very much get why you're like, ugh.
Ooh, look, Motorcycle Boys.
Yes.
I've seen this before, the Motorcycle Boys.
So this is the Bushido. And looks like he's giving him a sort of off-white as the prime job.
Oh, no, look, this one's more like a skin tone color.
Yeah. Desert yellow, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
And he's also using that for the Battletech mechs.
I wonder why he's gone for that color.
Ooh.
So red. Ooh, candy red.
It's quite potent.
Oh, look at this stuff.
House Steiner. I actually know who House Steiner is.
I like that blue. It's very sort of lilac.
Well, it's called ultramarine blue.
But that's
it's a Davith, you put in a lot of work, and we're really glad to see you get some paint on. But now you're going to have to get beyond that base coating step, my dude. You know,
he will. He will.
He will.
He will get there. Yes, I have faith.
Oh, and now it's us.
Ooh, look at that. We've got these Warhammer cans.
Yes, Warhammer cans.
I like how these turned out, actually.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to replace this one here, but that's another story for another day.
Okay. Well, so obviously we 3D printed the parts to fit onto the cans.
Yeah.
And then we prime them fully black first, and then we go over with a gunmetal silver spray.
I think they just call it gunmetal.
Yeah. Just call it metallics.
Steel.
Metallic gunmetal.
Yeah.
It just came out quite nice, I think. And then comes the very fun rusting part where you gotta, put the dirty down rust in the boiling hot water to make it nice and hot. Heat up the cans. And then what Henry did is in a small pot mix the heated up dirty down rust with the foam from a detergent water mix.
Yeah.
And that gives it a bubbly rust.
And that's how we sort of got that distressed look.
Yeah, that distressed sort of thick rust look that you get on tracks.
Well, see, I feel like it looks quite realistic.
Yeah, like it's not just plain old rust.
Well,
rust itself has a lot of character, but this is like taking it next level. And
well,
I thought it was
because
quite
I
nice.
feel like the primary issue with that rust is, imagine if it's outdoors or whatever and there's any kind of weather, right? It's going to be continually hitting it, and the thing is, all of the rust will concentrate at the bottom and will be just poured off the top by the forces of nature.
Yeah, you'd think they would be stainless steel.
Well, they probably are, but that doesn't look as grimdark.
It's true, it's not as grimdark.
And then
we painted the
Aquilus
in gold, and then we put the dirty down verdigris over that.
Yeah.
And also the steel parts as well.
And this was achieved with just, we did a dry brush of, was it warp lock bronze?
Yes.
And then I did just an overbrush of, I think it was even elven steel, really bright steel.
It was the alchemy set.
Yeah.
The artist one.
Yeah.
Scale 75.
Scale 75. I think it was just an overbrush of the golds to get that. What overbrush means is you have a loaded brush with most of it taken off, but you don't actually make it so that it's dry. It's still wet. You just go over the raised surfaces.
Interesting, right?
But yeah.
And then you got look at my Mechanicus symbol.
Yes. We all worked on those ones, honey. Both of us.
Mechanicus.
I think it came up pretty nice. All right. So, let us move on.
No, it was a nifty little recycling trick.
Upcycling is what they call it these days.
Upcycling, yes. Lance Davenport.
Yes, who we were talking about before.
Yes, says I ain't pretty, but I got just what you be looking for. Spices to entice the nose and the finest silk to tickle your pretty. Not my best, but interesting 86. Oh, the number 86.
Nice.
So it's some sort of a traveling merchant man.
Yes. I think it's an orc merchant.
Oh my god, an orc merchant.
I actually think his freehand here is amazing.
That's a very cute little
ball.
A ball, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. It looked like a ball.
Yeah, I think that's really, really good.
It's nice.
That's probably better than I can do.
That's very nice. And also, unfortunately, it's very blurry and I can't see the...
No, but it's focused on that, so we can change and see. Oh, all of these details are really nice.
Chest. Very nice chest. And I do like the wooden texture that you've given at the back of the board, you see? At the sign is very nice.
I think the sign has taken most of his the focus of the camera, but I do like the colors. I think that it all looks quite good. I like that, unlike before, how he had a problem with the yellow and the gold sort of blending together. Here he's got a yellow-skinned guy, but he's used a more sort of brassy gold.
Yeah, so
a
to
deeper gold.
Make it more
and I think that's, great progression. So, well done, Lance. I think you've done really well. So, this, guys, I would say is excellent. There is so much in this one to take a look at. I think, honestly, these are some of Brushstroke's two best ones.
They're very easy for the layman to grasp the concept and go, I can do that. Difficult colors, I can do it.
Also, I could actually see that some of this painting right here wasn't actually just shadows from the camera, but actual painted shadows. But I think that's, like...
It looks very natural. Like,
it does. But, like, also his white is so bright. And
but he's used just a super bright and pale grey that it
well, like,
reads as white.
his quote-unquote mid-tone is Youthwane grey.
Yeah, Youthwane grey.
And I'll use Youthwane grey as a white some of the times, not as a...
No, but that is correct, because you have used, like, the palest, the just one grade down color from white.
Yeah.
And that would be it.
That's why
Why
I
it's
say...
such a bright white looking kind of thing, which is good. Yeah.
And so for Whip Wednesday, this was me, and it was just me doing...
spraying up more of the Aquillas that we could make more canned.
And, like, I was just sort of saying that, you know, when it comes to this sort of thing, a lot of the times it's really good to just have it in reserve, have them all painted up so that...
All you gotta do is just stick them on.
Yeah, when it comes to your next project, just... There you go. There you go.
I am looking forward to making more Warhammer in a can.
Yes. Well, Steve's asked about getting a set of those from us.
Really?
Yeah, he'll...
Oh, well.
But we'll
moving up in the world, guys.
Yes, I should say Steve from our area.
Okay, well.
Yes.
Anyhow, Joseph has come with us a little baby cow. Apparently,
it's not a cow, it's a sheep.
Oh. Okay, it's a sheep. All right.
Oh, you're no longer excited.
Well, I just really thought it was a cow. That's all. Okay. Apparently, I'm painting this with 6-year-old on Saturday. I have 2 questions for the group. Given a sheep a white isn't finished already, what part... Yeah, I get what you say. What part of a sheep needs painting green, blue, or yellow? Well, Joseph, listen. It's a children's painting craft. You just paint it whatever you like, even if it doesn't make sense.
So I thought Martin actually had a good answer to this, but do you remember when we went to Singapore?
Oh yeah, there was those money boxes where they like...
the cows on the street that were all painted up.
There were cows on the street?
Remember I pointed it out to you, and there's like a sort of art exhibition, and there's...
Oh yes, okay, in Little India, there's some sort of like a little exhibition thing that they've come up with, and I believe these are epoxy cow sculptures. They're like life-size cow size. Right, and they've basically got these very intricate graphic art on the entire cow, and it's quite cool. I don't remember the whole theme, why it was done the way that it was done,
and that's why I was like, I'm not going to go into a rabbit hole searching for the Singapore cow India and just like
Singapore cow India.
Well, like, cause like that would be the base search you start out with.
I could easily find it if I used those keywords, and then we could just like pop it in here.
Yeah, but see, like... what I'm saying is, right, instead of going down a long rabbit hole, I thought we'd just talk about it.
Yes. Well, I think that's what they're trying to go with. Like, yeah, you like make some interesting patterns and make it a cool looking shape, I guess.
Yeah, or you could show them different techniques.
Yeah, like dotting techniques.
Yeah, dotting or dry brushing, you know, all sorts of things. And like, I think that's the big thing. Just get them to be excited about painting. Yeah. All right. So next up, and this was just me, and I'll just do a quick monologue, very quick. So this was one of our cans that we did up, right? And one of the things I wanted to say was just never stop experimenting, because the minute that you sort of give up on any sort of improvement, and like, just because you're aiming for tabletop doesn't mean that you can't improve, right? You could be faster. You could paint happier. You could, like, there's all sorts of things that you could do.
You could improve on a technique or
Yeah.
something.
So trying to foam these bubbles and that sort of thing wasn't sort of the first idea I had with it, right? But when I dabbed the brush on there and I noticed with the bubbles that they left a more interesting design behind, I was like, all right, let's go with that. Let's try that out. But not only that, right? There's another thing. For example, there's some sharks that I did recently. I fear going into Discord, but yeah. So
You have to already be in the correct channel.
yeah. Well, I think the only thing I've got up is Mid-Journey at the moment, trying to
Find stuff for the next video.
yeah.
But yes, we were gonna have. I think you've done some shark posting.
Yeah, so, but with those sharks sort of having that idea of doing the underpainting, just like Brushstrokes did, doing it so that I do the zenithal, then I do that gloss, and then I put on a oil wash, and that being the base for a contrast paint. The contrast paints went on it so well.
Ah.
They sat in all of the right areas, even when the paint was very thin, right? It was quite nice.
That's great.
All right, so let's move on. All right,
We got Joe something
and he's
something war cry gang painting. Just got to matte clear coat, verdigris, blood for the blood god, rims and grass, then done. Add finished picture. Oh, he did add a finished picture.
all right. So let's take a look and start our journey with Joe Sutton, because what I like about Joe is he shows the whole journey, and I feel like that is 100% the WAYPN spirit. You know, better than me, to be honest. And going along, seeing how he starts out. So these are the various Warcry minis he's got, and some of them come pre-painted red, but one of the other things I really like here is how he adds, you know, his own texture to some of these pre-done bases.
Right, just to add
that little bit of extra character.
And Voshimitude.
Yep, and then does the zenithal by the looks of things. Then he gets and it looks like mostly contrast paints. This guy was a test model for the game. So
I think that the contrast paint worked really well in this model, actually. Look at that gold.
So the skins guy was look for blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I think if you want to go for those sorts of things, that technique I just talked about before is really good for skins, and maybe try Drakenhoth flesh if he wants somebody of a darker skin tone. Yeah.
I think.
Alright, and he's testing out the verdigris. Okay, so with verdigris, I do actually have some great tips for it. One of the things that I tried out today, now if you don't have an oven, such is life, but one of the things that I tried out today is I had the oven on, right? And then I'd put the verdigris on the model, and then I'd put the model along with my hand into the oven, right? And I'm just talking about to give heat to the model and that sort of thing, right? I'm not talking about long enough to cause any sort of damage, right? But all you want to do is have it so that it gets rid of, it has that reaction.
Yeah, because like it's very quick, the reaction, and if you don't get heat on that immediately, it doesn't have that full-on blooming effect that you like. Like, it still looks fine as is, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
It's not the same as when you add heat to it.
And he's
got some pieces you want to try
testing
it
out the Dirty Down verdigris with these. But yeah, so that's his test model. And then once he does his test model, he goes and applies that to all of the rest of the guys.
They look super consistent.
Yes.
Everything pops. Like you can pick every single element out and just go, wow.
Yeah, and I think,
Oh, look at that.
with Joe here, unless I see different at the end, I think he's aiming for tabletop, but we might see something very different at the end. And so it's a great way to sort of start things out by just doing that test and having that consistency throughout the game. Yeah, so I think these are corn guys, but I feel like this is over the top, yes, but when you want to do over the top, I feel like that's not enough. Either you have to go all the way and be completely ridiculous. Like what I do is I get dental floss and I run a blade over it to sort of make it sort of shred. And then I put that onto the model, and then the blood for the blood god for it, making it sort of look like
streaks of blood sort of thing.
Well, more like intestines, whatever sort of stuck to it.
Cool, interesting.
But there's also the Yoo-hoo glue method that people use.
You just gotta take a little bit and go like this, like how you do the beignets.
Okay.
Drizzling, I guess.
As far as I know, what people do is they'll try and get it to different contact points.
Yeah.
And they mix it with PVA or something. I can't remember.
Interesting.
But yeah, so I like the flecking of blood. That looks good. I also really like the bases.
Yeah, I think that just really makes it chef's kiss. Would you say some of his best work? I definitely think so.
No, because I think his orcs were fantastic.
Oh yeah, he did the orcs as well.
Yeah.
That one was a lot of work.
See, I feel like these ones,
because everyone had. Oh no, there you go. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Very good job.
It's quite the journey. It's quite the journey, seeing all the way to go. And I really like doing things like that, going on that journey. And there's not much that I'd actually critique in that, because it was a lot like with what Joseph does. Joseph comes in and he's like, here's my goal, here's what I'm going for, here's how I'm going to do it. And that's exactly what Joe's done here. He's like, here's my goal, here's what I'm going for, here's how I'm going to do it. And I take a look at it, and I don't see anything there where I'm like, okay, this would speed up the process, or this would give you a better result, without either going up or down in the level of detail that he wants. Mm-hmm. What do you think? What you've done well, where you can improve, sort of thing.
I think I did see some pulling in the skin for some of the guys, but
yeah. But I think
other than that, I think he's done bringing out the elements and the cohesiveness of the models.
The
very
cohesiveness is definitely his A+ on this.
On this one, yeah, they all. Just look at them together. They all just are like a match set.
Yeah.
They just look so good together.
You can easily recognize the difference between the models, but you're like, that's a team over there. That's a team.
I'm not sure if he's attempted to do any true metallic metal, but I think that would just wow.
But see, that's what I'm talking about, going up and down.
Up and down, yeah. Oh, so, it's Laney.
Yes.
This is a guy.
And yeah.
Okay, good.
He-Man is done here.
He-Man looks to be crying.
Yeah, well, he's very upset. All right, first one is complete. All right, so I think you want one more element to your base. You've got some nice stuff here, but let's take a closer look, shall we? All right.
That's just the muscle. But yeah, he looked to be crying.
Yeah, no, I think that she's done pretty well with the eyes. Alan has a really good
tip for doing eyes, easy way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you have to do the eyes first and then
Yes.
the skin. Yeah.
So I like, it's just the He-Man vibe just gets me so much because he's even got like the little tiara.
Oh
there
my
sort of thing.
god.
And I'm just like, He-Man is not having a good day. I like the black lining that she's done. I think that that's really good. You know,
I do think the black lining could be more precise.
yeah, it could, but I mean, like the thing is with it, I think that it does its job, right? And like Lainey's starting out, she's going to develop those skills over time, and I think that she'll get better and better with it. But yes, I can't get over He-Man. But you know what is really, really good? That patterning right there.
Oh yeah.
That patterning is really nice, very consistent. You know, it's not
pretty smooth.
Yeah, very smooth, not jagged at all. I think that you've done a really good job, Lainey. I think you've done really good with your patterning. I'm pretty happy with your black lining. Yeah, Sunny's not wrong. You could improve on it, but that will come with time, in my opinion. So what do you think that she has done well, and where do you think she could improve?
I think that, yes, definitely the shoulder pad, freehand, very nice. Very cohesive as well, this piece. Everything does pop and like everything has the right amount of contrast. I think, like you said, improvement could be a little bit more, just a tad, one more element on the base. And I definitely think that the black lining could be improved upon.
Yeah, just like a rock or something here. Because like...
Or a skull. Can't go wrong with skulls.
Yes, 40k.
40k means skulls, guys.
Yes, that's my mistake. Please.
Where is your skull? This is not 40k.
Oh, the skull's up here behind
No,
it.
need the skull on the floor.
More skull, please.
More skull on floor.
More skull.
Floor skulls.
Okay. Come on, let's go.
This skull.
More
this
skull.
Yes.
Alright, and finally we finish up with Alan.
With Mr. Aaron. Another journey into the process. Tim, this time.
True metallic metal.
Yes,
Yeah.
true metallic metal. Oh, nice. We don't see true metallic metals that often.
Yeah.
I added some sky blue and earth tones to give the reflection a look.
I've been trying that with...
Let's take a look at how he does it.
The goblin today.
I think the hat came out nice. The goblin hat, the way you tried to do it.
So yeah, no, I think that those
I can definitely see the blue.
reflections come up so well. So well. So I feel like the cape is like it's like, you know, you're taking a look, and obviously he's doing true metallic metal, and I'm just like, what's going on here? Obviously Alan's not finished yet, but still.
Oh, look at that, honey.
Yeah.
Look at all that black lining, is so perfect. I can see it from here.
Yes, of course you can see it from there. That's the whole process that we've set up for, so that you can
but
see
it's
the
so
models.
far away. I can still see it from here, and it's small. I can pick it all out.
But I think it was that first picture.
So this is how it started. Ooh.
Like, see right here, where you can see everything sort of come up, and I feel like, yes, this is just fantastic, and I really love how it's come out. And the thing is that Alan was giving himself a hard time about not doing metals really well, and I think this is absolutely fantastic, the way that he's done the sort of reflections, like where there's that slight hint of the sky in there, but he's done it way better than I have, because it's just a hint.
I know what could help,
Oh yeah?
but I'm not sure how you're gonna achieve it.
And what's that?
So wherever the metal is shiny, okay, because I presume this guy's in the desert, right? Am I right? He's in the desert somewhere.
Usually, yeah.
So what happens is, right,
They film in California.
the light, the sky, okay, it reflects upon the sand, and the sand can be quite like bright the way that it reflects like back. So it will have a bit of the under reflection on the bottom of
But see,
the
he does.
thing.
See,
Now,
like
let
right
me
here.
finish.
Okay.
And when you have the sand reflect up, it will have the highest, brightest point won't be a white shine. It will be like a pale yellow shine with the white in the middle because it's reflecting the sand.
So the sand won't be a sort of desert yellow. It'll be a sort of brownish.
Yeah, like a ochre, but like mixed with white. You know, like
I'd say that's sort of reflection that he's. But I think until he does the base, you're not going to see that as much.
I don't really know what I forget the terms they use in illustration when they teach you about subsurface scattering or something like that. No?
Yeah. But now that she's gotten to finish, maybe I'll get to finish
It's
later.
ambient occlusion. Yes, that's what it's called. Ambient occlusion.
Yes, that one just passed right over your head.
Yes, I want to get my technical on too. Everybody gets to be technical, but me.
Well, what we would really love, guys, is if you guys could give us feedback, and you know,
like especially on our work, don't be afraid to. I know that we are the ones reviewing everybody's work, but we're not above anyone else. We are just as a part of WAYPN members as everyone else.
Oh, and I just realized that
we
Tyrone,
missed one.
Put one in the comments. Tyrone, do a post.
Make post because that's looking good from this distance.
Yes, but make a post because that's how we forget you. You're in the comments.
You gotta get your post.
Yeah, alright. But we would really love to get your critique because we're not above critique, right? And we hope that you do it in a similar fashion to how we do it, what we've done well, what you've done well, where you can improve, that sort of thing. And in that regard, we really do try to give all of our feedback aimed for the people who are presenting whatever it is that they are presenting, rather than giving our own sort of thoughts on it. We give something that people can get something out of for them, rather than us just talking about how great we are. Because when you've got people as good as we do on here, it's a grim reminder a lot of the time of how low on the totem pole you are some of the time. But we'd both like to say thank you so much for joining us, and keep those brushes wet. Bye-bye.